I want to know who you got in your top 5. Because I got my top 5 ready. And I know Ace got his top 5 ready. So who in your top 5?
Oh my gosh, you got money back, I see.
Because it's the top 5 every week.
You already know. Week 2, top 5. We here in the building, about to go over stats, picks, quarterbacks, defenses, and teams. So y'all tune in and watch what we doing. To the left, I got my co-host. What's going on, man?
What's the deal, Ace? You already know it's your boy Shoodah, man. Follow us on Instagram at Tree Culture, at treeculture_studios, and at Tree Culture Radio. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button below. Like us, comment, but keep watching us and stay in tune with the culture.
Let's go. So we gonna start off. What we want to do? Quarterbacks. We want to do teams. It's up to you.
Yeah, let's start with the teams first, man. Let's start with the teams.
All right. Teams.
Well, you know what? Let's start with the defense first.
Defense.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Let's go defense first.
Let's go defense. You want me jumping? I'll jump in.
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead first.
I got a couple of regulars that's expected. Then I got a couple of non-regulars. Coming in at number 5, I got the Baltimore Ravens. One is that's my squad. You know what I mean? I like the way they look. We've had some offensive woes with J.K. Dobbins going out, Odell Beckham getting hurt, and they're still 2-0. They just beat the Bengals in our division, and they held Joe Burrow to 222 yards. So I'm giving them number 5. Number 4, defensively, I'm going with the Niners. They couldn't keep Nakua in check from the Rams, but I think aside from that, through 2 weeks, man, they got 6 sacks and 4 interceptions. And I think in the league right now, they are still a force to be reckoned with. I think as weeks to come, they'll get stronger and stronger. Number 3, I got the New England Patriots. Defense. Week 1, they held the Eagles offensive players, nobody receiving or rushing, broke 100 yards. They held Jalen Hurts to 170 passing yards in week 1. Week 2, they turn right around and get the powerhouse Miami Dolphins. And even though they lost the game to the Dolphins, they held the Dolphins' number 1 receiver in Tyreek Hill to, I want to say it was 40-something yards, man. It was something ridiculous. So defensively, I take my hat off to them and what they did to a top receiver and a top offense in week 1 and week 2. My number 2 pick, I got the New Orleans Saints.
Thanks.
Through 2 weeks, the New Orleans Saints, they held both teams under 20 points in 2 weeks.
Thanks.
They had 4 sacks in week 1. They had 4 sacks in week 2 with interceptions. So I think defensively, if they can get something offensively going, I think they'll start to win some games. But defensively, I take my hat off to them, man, because not only are they getting to the quarterback, getting interceptions as well. So it's just not one way. And my number 1 defense, I got to give it up to the Dallas Cowboys, man.
Thanks.
I don't care who you are. Some of us love them, some of us hate them. But you got to tip your hat to them boys, man. And the stats show, man. Through 2 weeks, like me and you spoke about earlier, they got the most points offensively, and they allowed the less points defensively. They only gave up 10 points through 2 weeks.
Thanks.
And they obliterated New York. Nobody in New York don't talk about the Dallas Cowboys because they ran through the Giants 40-0 and they ran through the Jets 30-10.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? So I give it up to them. And not only that, though, they average the most sacks per game. I want to say it's somewhere close to 7.5 sacks a game. So they're still up there in terms of not only holding the offense to not scoring, they're getting to the quarterback.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my top 5 in defense, man. And like I said, comment below. Let me know what y'all think. What you got going on, Ace?
Number 5, I got one of the teams you got. I got the New Orleans Saints. The Saints, if you look at the Saints, they've only given up 32 points on the season. They got the 7th-ranked pass defense. And just like Shoodah said, 20 points, man. They only gave up 20 points, man, in 2 games. You got to give them their props. Number 4, I got the Cleveland Browns. Why I got Cleveland is because basically they've only given up 29 points. But let's really look at the 29 points that they've given up. 2 of their points that was given up because of their quarterback. So if you take them 2 off from the quarterback, literally they've only given up, you subtract 14, they've only given up 15 points on the season, which is right next to the Dallas Cowboys. So Cleveland has a advantage defense. And mind you, Myles Garrett only got 1 sack on the season, and they only given up 15 points. Myles Garrett, the best defender. You got to give Cleveland the love. Number 3, we know them for being an offensive juggernaut, but I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs have only given up 30 points on the season. Without Chris Jones, they gave up 21 points to the Detroit Lions. Last week, Jacksonville scored 31 week 1. Week 2, they scored 9. You got to give Kansas City their props. They got the 30. They only given up 30 points on the season. Number 2, now this is an amazing, amazing stat. The Atlanta Falcons. Mind you, the Atlanta Falcons is the number 2 defense I got in the league. You see, where's the 49ers? You say, where's the Philadelphia Eagles? The Falcons has the 3rd least yards given up in the whole NFL. They've only given up 500 yards for the season right now. Then on top of that, their quarterback name is Desmond Ridder. He got a QBR of 50. What you think? You look at that. They're winning by running the ball and playing defense. And then they've given up the 5th least points in the league. Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons. Number 1 defense, of course, you know I got the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys have only given up 10 points. They have the most turnovers in the league. They've gotten 7 turnovers, and they are tied for the most sacks in the league with the Washington Redskins. Dallas Cowboys, the number 1 defense in the NFL. Let's jump over to the quarterbacks, man. You go ahead and give your quarterbacks first.
I got mine's is all crazy, man. I switched around a little bit. My top 5 dude goes to Pat Mahomes. And I give it to Pat Mahomes because Pat Mahomes is still in the top 10 in 5 statistical QB categories. He's number 6 in completions with 50 completions through 2 weeks. He's number 5 in attempts with 80 attempts. He's number 9 in total yards with 531 yards. He's number 4 in touchdowns thrown through 2 weeks with 4 touchdowns. And he's number 9 with a QBR rating of 65.9. So I think that as the weeks go on and he start to get his weapons and they all start to get their bearings and it comes together, I think Pat Mahomes will continue to be in the top. Unless he just has a very bad game that throws his numbers off, I think we get from him consistency every week.
Fact.
My number 4 guy, I'm going left with this, CJ Stroud from Houston. And the reason I go with CJ Stroud is because he's in top 5 of a few of the quarterback statistical categories. He's number 4 in most yards thrown by a quarterback with 626 yards. He's in the top 5 in completions. He's tied with Matt Stafford in completions in top 5. He's number 3 in passing attempts with 91. And the good thing about that is through 2 weeks with 91 passing attempts, he has 0 interceptions. And I think for me that's big. Although he's been sacked 11 times, that's due to his offensive line. But as a rookie coming in, I like to see those stats through 2 weeks. And I hope CJ Stroud, man, you can keep it up, man. Keep up the good work. You've been doing an excellent job there. Number 3, I got another guy. He's not a rookie, but he's one of these young guys. I think he's going to be the future of NFL quarterback, man. And that's Jordan Love from the Green Bay Packers, man. Right. This is his first season starting as a QB. He's thrown 6 touchdowns with 0 interceptions through 2 weeks. Right. He's averaging 7.5 yards per pass, and he has the longest pass of 51 yards through his young career. The reason I like this guy also, man, is he's doing all this without his number 1 receiver, Christian Watson. He's been out for 2 weeks. ESPN got this guy ranked number 23, but I think he should be much higher than that. I have him ranked at number 3 through 2 weeks. And I also like him because he's a big quarterback.
Facts.
You can't really tell looking at this guy, but he's 6'4", 220 pounds. Like, he's not no little guy, man. He put on a little bit more weight as the seasons go for his career. He's going to be one of these big guys that, and when you see him move, he's very agile.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So he's my number 3 guy. Number 2, I got Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has the 2nd most yards through 2 weeks in the NFL. 708, passing yards through 2 weeks. He also has a 72% completion rate. He's threw 6 touchdowns with 1 interception. He's tied for the most TDs through 2 weeks with Jordan Love. Him and Jordan Love, they both have 6 TDs through 2 weeks. I think in him having Justin Jefferson helps, but I mean, he's putting up the numbers. You know what they say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
You know what I mean? We can't really go too much with it. And my number 1 QB is still Tua Tagovailoa, man. Tagovailoa, sorry about that, the mispronunciation. The Patriots held him to 200 and something yards, but through 2 weeks, he still has the most yards of a quarterback in the NFL. He found a way to win without his most valuable weapon. Yeah, he has other weapons, but the Patriots took away Tyreek Hill, and he still found a way to win. He still found a way to get into the end zone. He still found a way to not get sacked. He still found a way to take care of the ball. He only has 1 sack this season through 2 weeks. His offensive line is holding up for him, and they're allowing him to do what he does. He also has a 78 QBR, which is really good, man. And I have a stat for you that one of my fantasy players brothers put up. He's the first QB to win 5 straight starts against the Patriots during the Bill Belichick era, which I think is big, man. So I give it up to him, man. Hopefully he can keep on giving us good football. He can keep on doing what he's doing. And that's my number 1 quarterback through 2 weeks, Tua Tagovailoa.
The 2 weeks, we got similar numbers. We got similar numbers, but I don't see why my boy don't get no love on your list. So I gotta remind him about my boy.
Who's that?
Matthew Stafford. He got to get the love, man. He got to get the love. He on the list. We got 4 out of 5 though. I'll say this: Tua did overtake Stafford because Stafford had them 2 picks versus the 49ers. Mm-hmm. But I don't have Tua 1. I still don't got Tua 1. I don't care how Jordan feel. I don't care how many y'all. I'm objective. I don't just make stuff. I be objective with my stuff, bro. As you see, I have no Eagle stuff until we get the teams. I'm gonna call out the Eagles.
Let's go.
All right, so we got the similar list. I got Jordan Love because Jordan Love got 6 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. He does have 2 fumbles on the season, so he does turn the ball over, but he has no interceptions. Now, we got to get him on the list for this main reason. What's the most important stat as a quarterback? Everybody says it's yards. Everybody says it's completion. No, it's QBR. The number 1 QBR in the league is Jordan Love at 118.8. So that's why Jordan Love is number 5. Number 4, leading all rookies, and he has a QBR of 91.2, is C.J. Stroud. We got the same guy at number 4. He leads all rookies in yards. He leads all rookies in touchdowns. But he doesn't lead all rookies in rushing yards, and that, of course, is Anthony Richardson. So I got C.J. Stroud. Number 3, I got him again, man. Matthew Stafford. Shout out to Matthew Stafford. He's 3rd in yards. 3rd in yards. We keep talking about how big Pat Nakua is, but Pat Nakua is not Jalen Waddle. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's still a work in progress. And Matthew Stafford, to come back from Tommy John surgery with the elbow, we know pitchers cannot play after Tommy John. They can't throw the ball. He came back, and he's looking like he didn't miss a beat from the year when he won the Super Bowl. We got to give him his love, even though he lost to the 49ers. Number 2, come on now. We got to put Tua on the top list. Tua's there, 715 yards. He's 7th in quarterback rating. But the reason why I don't have him number 1 is completion percentage. He ranks number 17 out of 15 quarterbacks. He's not even 1. He's ranked 17 in completion percentage. But he's 2-0. So he definitely got to be number 2. Number 1, even though he's 0-2, this dude is top 5 in every category. Every category. Kirk Cousins, 780 yards. He's 3rd in completions. He's 2nd in QBR. He's 2nd in attempts. He's tied for touchdowns. I got Kirk Cousins 1. You can't fault him for having a sorry defense, and you can't fault him because Justin Jefferson likes to dive and fumble every time. That's on the receivers. That ain't on the quarterback. Right. I got Kirk Cousins 1, and then I got Tua number 2. That's what I got for the QBs. Let's go on to teams. I'm going to go first this time. I'm going to let you get it. So for teams, y'all going to say I'm tripping, but I got the Atlanta Falcons at number 5. They're 2-0 with Desmond Ridder at quarterback. That's what's crazy. But what we don't understand about their 2-0 is they got the 4th best rushing offense. They got the 2nd ranked defense in all of NFL. The number 2 defense in the whole NFL is them. On top of that, Through 2 games, they have the second best pass defense in the league. But you can't pass on them. They play very good. They did good versus week 1. You seen Jordan Love, what he did. Week 2, he could basically do anything with them because their defense is so good. So I got the Falcons 15. Number 2, you already know.
Number 2?
Number 4. I'm sorry. Number 4. Yeah, my bad. You know I'm saying number 2 because Shoodah right next to you. Number 4, 2-0. Shout out to Lamar Jackson. He's playing the right way. But we got to understand is why I give them this props is to be 2-0, have the 6th best rushing attack. Dobbins goes down. Odell Beckham went down. Then last week they didn't even have Mark Andrews. And they're 2-0. You got to give all props. To me, I feel like Lamar is more of an MVP candidate than half them quarterbacks I named on the list. For them to keep winning without weapons, Lamar gets all love and that defense is serious. Ravens are number 4. At number 3, come on, man. Shout out to the Miami Dolphins. They got the number 1 pass team in the league. And see, people don't realize this. We gotta look at the stats. Look at the stats. Mm-hmm. The 14th best receiver in the league is who? Jalen Waddle. The 3rd best receiver in the league is who? Tyreek Hill. The 17th best tight end in the league is Carcraft. Shout out to the Miami Dolphins having the best passing attack. And their defense came on strong with getting those sacks last week. Number 3 team in the league. Number 2, y'all gonna say I'm biased, but I got the Philadelphia Eagles. To win 2 games as they did in the Patriots, they scored 1 more than the Miami Dolphins in New England, 25-20. They beat them, and on top of that, this is a major stat that you got to pay attention to. They lost their number 1 rusher in Gainwell. Of course, we know how good DeAndre Swift is, but they got the number 2 rushing attack in the NFL. The only person who got a better rushing attack than them is the Cleveland Browns, and we know that ain't gonna last for long with Ford out. So by week 2, by week 3, week 4, Philadelphia had the number 1 rushing attack. And here's the biggest stat, what blew my mind away. Normally, you think the Niners got the best rush defense. Normally, you think Tampa Bay got the rush defense. Philly is averaging 50 rush yards a game. You can't run on Philly. Jalen Carter shutting the run down. Hassan Reddick shutting the run down. The pass defense ain't that good. It ain't that good. They don't have a top 5 defensive attack. That's why they're not in my defense. But they're the number 1 rush defense in the league. I got Philly number 2. Number 1, do we even have to say it, bro? I don't even like them, but how about them Cowboys? They scored 70 points through 2 weeks. 70 points. That means they averaged 35 points a game. Then on top of that, their defense has only given up 10 points. That means they average 5 points a game. That means you can't do nothing against them. Yeah, they beat the Giants. Yeah, they beat the Jets. But if you really think about it, besides 1 fluke touchdown thrown to Garrett Wilson for 81 yards, they haven't given them no drives for touchdowns. They only given up 3 points. Shout out to the Dallas Cowboys. They doing their thing. Number 1 team in the NFL.
Facts. That was a great list, man. That was a great list. Facts. I'm gonna go a little left. I got a couple of the same teams.
Facts.
But I'm gonna start with number 5, man, and this one is all the way left, man. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as number 5.
Bucks are balling.
And the reason I'm going with the Buccaneers, man, is because when you look at both sides of the ball, they got a quarterback in Baker Mayfield that, if you take a survey around the country, they probably say he's a bum.
He's definitely a bum.
But through 2 weeks, the man is taking care of the ball. And he is taking care of the ball very efficiently, very effectively. Defensively, through 2 weeks, both teams they've played, they've held them to 17 points each.
Facts.
And they're coming in now through week 2, 2-0. We would have thought Baker Mayfield would be 0-2.
0-2, yeah.
You know what I mean? For all my people putting in them bookie tickets, man, I know y'all had Baker Mayfield rolled off, man, but don't write that man off yet.
Facts.
He's looking real good, man, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is a good start to the season at 2-0. At number 4, I'm going to shock everybody. I got the Miami Dolphins at number 4. I just think it's hard to not have them in the top 5, man. Having them start 2-0. They got a top 5 quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa. Whichever way we put him, everybody has him in the top 5 at this point. You know what I'm saying? Whether he's 1, whether he's 3, whether he's everybody got to have him in the top 5. You know what I mean? And just through week 2 to see what they did against that Belichick defense that took away, as you said, they took away what they do best in limiting Tyreek Hill to 40 yards. I think as an overall team, they found a way to put their run game in effect. They getting the wins, man. 2-0 start. At number 3, I got your boys, the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, with Atwell going out and DeAndre Swift coming in, I honestly think that their rushing attack has gotten even better. The improvement after week 1, The coach said it. He said after week 1, there'll never be another game that DeAndre Swift only going to have 2 touches a game. And they came in week 2, and that man was phenomenal. He had about 150, 160 yards rushing,
Facts.
2 touchdowns. Like, he was phenomenal. And I think as the weeks go on, the Philadelphia Eagles rush game, the running game is going to get even stronger. You know what I mean? Because you gotta think about it. DeAndre Swift is new. He's still learning the playbook. He's still getting acclimated. Him and Jalen Hurts are still building that gel.
Facts.
So I think as the season goes on, they're going to get better. My number 2 team is the 49ers. I still think they gave up a lot of yards to the Rams, but I think Brock Purdy is an efficient quarterback. He's not fancy. I don't even think he might have a game where he's going to put up 400, 500 yards because they have so many weapons. Brock Purdy can put up 220 yards and they still get it done because they have so many weapons. Their defense has fallen off from week 1, but I think they're going to get it together, man. I think as the season progresses, I think their defense is going to be hand in hand with their offense, and I think they're going to get stronger. It's still early in the season. Aside from who I got as my number 1, I think on both sides of the ball, they have one of the most complete teams there is because there's really not too many positions, skill positions, offensively and defensively, that you can say, yo, they really lacking. You know what I mean? So it's going to be hard to really beat them. You're going to have to beat them on one of those off days where it's just they can't get nothing clicking. I agree with you, man. How about them Cowboys for number 1, man? Listen, man, you can't be America's team for all these years and not put on for America, man. For real, for real. I agree with you 100,000%, man. 70 points through 2 games, 10 points allowed through 2 games, 5-point average allowed with a fluke touchdown. And I won't even say fluke because I don't want to take that away from Garrett Wilson.
Right.
He's a top receiver in the league. It was a great touchdown. This is professional football and it happens. I definitely agree with you. Take that away and it's 1 field goal.
That's it.
Through 2 games, man. Like, these dudes I'm looking forward to see what their next few games look like. I think in week 3, they play Arizona. It's probably going to be a 40-0 game again.
Easy.
To the Cardinals, man. So keep up the good work, man. The number 1 team for me is the Dallas Cowboys, man. I think we both have some great stuff on our list, man. I look forward to seeing, the next few weeks in football and see what we got going on.
That's a fact. We got the pick sheet here, so we're gonna give out the picks for the week, man. We're gonna go game by game. I'm gonna give mine, you give yours. Thursday night, we got a slaughterhouse. The Giants is going over to San Francisco without Saquon. I see another 40-0, like Dallas. 40-0, San Francisco over the Giants. I got the 49ers. Who you got?
I agree with you, man. The Giants through 2 weeks. Aside from the second half of last week, they had a great second half, but I don't got that happening again. Especially without Saquon, it's going to look like week 1, man. It's going to be a mollywop.
Facts.
For real, I got the San Francisco 49ers definitely beaten.
Week 2, we got Tennessee and Cleveland. Cats going to think I'm tripping because there's no Chubbs, but I'm rocking with Cleveland. And the only reason why I'm rocking with Cleveland, y'all check the stats. Who's the most sacked quarterback through as far as the start of the season is Daniel Jones, then it's Ryan Tannehill. So I see Cleveland getting a whole bunch of sacks and turnovers versus Tennessee. So I got Cleveland winning that game at home, beating the Tennessee Titans.
I differ with you, man. I like Tennessee, and part of it is emotional. Cleveland is in the same division with the Baltimore Ravens, and I just think that with Nick Chubb going down, I just think it's going to be hard I'm not really sold on Deshaun Watson yet. You know what I mean? He got a big bag. Congratulations, D. Watts. You got a big bag, but I'm not really sold on him yet, man. I got to see more from him to see what they're going to do defensively. I definitely think that they're going to hold up, but I don't know if now offensively they're going to be able to put up any major points against Tennessee. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So I'm going with Tennessee.
We got the third game, Atlanta versus Detroit. I'm riding with Detroit. No disrespect to the Falcons, even though the Falcons, I got them as a top 5 team. That top 5 stops this week. If they cause trouble with Patty with no Kelsey, y'all don't have no passing game in Atlanta. So Detroit gonna win that game outright. I don't think they got anybody to score stop Amrod St. Brown. I don't think they got anybody to stop the rookie sensation Gibbs. shout out to Jared Goff, which is he's actually a top 10 quarterback this year. So I got Detroit at home beating the Atlanta Falcons.
Absolutely, I agree. I got Detroit beating them as well. And funny you mentioned it because I was kind of tossing up because he was almost there in my top 5 of QBs this week. The stat you put up last week was phenomenal, and he threw a goddamn pick this week, man.
The record ain't broken.
Man,
record ain't broken.
It ain't broken, but I mean, I like him, man. I like him. I'm going with Detroit as well, man.
Facts. All right, for the 4th game, we got New Orleans versus Green Bay. Green Bay's at home. Jordan Love is playing crazy, but it's something about that New Orleans defense that I think I like. Then on top of that, Aaron Jones is still coming off of an injury. He didn't play this week. That hamstring is a little sore, so I'm going to ride out with the New Orleans Saints to beat the Green Bay Packers.
Facts. I'm going left. I'm going left with you, man. But I'm taking the Green Bay Packers, man.
Facts.
I want to see what this kid Jordan Love really got, and I think this is his first test of a real solid defense. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think because he's a big enough quarterback, man, I think he'll make some smart decisions. I think it's really going to come down to his ball safety. Mm-hmm. Like you said, with 6 touchdowns, no interception, he still has 2 fumbles. So if he can take care of the ball and do the same thing that he's been doing for the past 2 weeks, I think they'll be okay, and I think they'll come out with a victory. I'm going Green Bay.
I know we probably got the same team in this next one because Denver been, I don't know what's up with Russ, bro. Russ just need to retire. Yeah. But this is Miami's home opener. Dolphins going to be playing crazy. So I got Miami probably winning like 29-3. No disrespect to the Broncos, but 29-3. I got the Miami Dolphins winning on Sunday.
I agree with you, man. Miami home opener. They playing out of their mind. Rusty, I don't know what happened to you, bro. Coach said, man, stop being out here being a politician, kissing them babies, and start playing football, man.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Come on now. But I definitely agree. I think Miami gonna run through them. First game at home opener. Mm-hmm. I think they gonna put on for their city, man, and keep going what they going.
Facts. All right, next game we got the Chargers in Minnesota. After seeing what the Chargers did with Tennessee, after seeing what the Chargers did with the Miami Dolphins, you're talking about the second high-powered offense in the league in the Minnesota Vikings, and they're at home. I like Minnesota to win that game. That's going to be a blowout. Don't be surprised if Kirk Cousins throws for 400 yards. And I got Elias this week, bro. So guess what? Kirk Cousins is going to give me 40 versus you, bro. I'm coming for your neck. Coming for you next. Let's go, Minnesota. Minnesota, I got the Vikings this week.
I got the Vikings as well, man. I got Minnesota. I agree, man. High-powered offense. Kirk Cousins, my number 2 quarterback through 2 weeks. He puts up yards, man. He got the number 1 receiver in Justin Jefferson, man. And I agree. He's going to put up at least 400 yards, man. I think Justin Jefferson might have 200 of those yards, man.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
I'm going with Minnesota at home versus the Chargers.
Next game, we got the New England Patriots versus the New York Jets. As much as I love Belichick and I hate Zach Wilson, I got to go with the Jets because Mac Jones is a bum. He's going to throw some picks. So I got the Jets winning that game. It's going to be a low score, probably like 17-3 or 17-10. But I got the Jets winning at home versus the New England Patriots.
I'm going left, man. I'm going New Orleans. New Orleans. I'm going New England, man.
Fact.
Like you said, man, Belichick is going to take away what the Jets do best, and it ain't much. It's really, they got a 1-2 punch in Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, man. And Breece Hall, to me, I don't even think he's 100% because Breece Hall still's not getting 20 carries a game. He's still averaging 10, 12 carries a game at most.
I agree with you.
So if they take away Garrett Wilson, I think the Jets is in trouble. I think their defense is going to hold up 100%, but I think they're going to struggle offensively. And I think a low-scoring game of that magnitude favors New England, man, because Mac Jones don't got to do much.
Facts,
you know what I mean? So I'm going New England.
You're going New England. Okay. We got Buffalo and Washington. Washington's 2-0 under Eric Bieniemy, looking good, looking like Kansas City should have never let him go because he got Sam Howell looking like the second coming of Patrick Mahomes. They should have kept him. But the crazy thing is, though, I think your boy Josh Allen smells blood. And they going into Washington. So I'm rolling with Buffalo even after everything I've seen, even after Washington having 10 sacks on the season. I'm going Buffalo just because I think that they can't stop that offense. If Washington gave up all those points this week and had to come back and win, they're gonna have the same problem this week. So I got Washington and Denver. They had a brow burner. They went down to the line and Washington won 38-28. I got 31-28 Buffalo Bills.
I agree, man. I'm going Buffalo with you, man. I think they got too much for Washington. I think, like you said, Washington, they can't keep trying to come back from behind. And Buffalo's one of these teams that they're not going to let you come back. You get behind in Buffalo and you're going to be in trouble, man. They have weapons as well, man, with Josh Allen. And I think Josh Allen through 2 weeks, you know, and I know he hears the naysayers saying, through 2 weeks he's falling out of the top 5, top 3.
Right.
You know what I mean? Every week, you know, if you're not producing, you're gonna start to drop. I think he's up for it. I think he's ready to say, listen, hey, I'm a top 3 quarterback in this league, man, week after week. And I think as the weeks go on, he's gonna prove it to us. I got him beating the Washington Commanders.
We got Houston and Jacksonville. That's obvious. You know, C.J. Stroud's playing good, but Jacksonville's the better team. I got Jayville winning that game.
I definitely, as much as I like C.J. Stroud, I think we're gonna pose the same question to him that we posed to Jordan Love. Now you got a team in front of you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna see how you hold up. We're gonna see is those stats still valid. You know what I mean?
Facts.
It's easy to say a dude who threw one pass, they caught it one time, that he got 100% completion rate. But as the weeks go on and you start to throw more passes and you start to be in more schemes and more scenarios, we're going to see, can your QB instinct hold up? And I think this is the test, and I think he's going to still play well, but I think Jacksonville is going to pull out the win, man. I'm going Jacksonville.
Baltimore, Indianapolis. This game's obvious. No disrespect to Indy, but even if they had Anthony Richardson playing, they're gonna lose, bro. You can't bet on the issue. You can't bet on Anthony Richardson. I got Lamar and that defense. Don't be surprised if Ravens get by 7 sacks and 3 picks on Sunday. I got Ravens winning that game at Baltimore.
Absolutely, I'm going with the Ravens, man. That's my squad. Shout out to Raven Nation. Let's go, man. This is looking like a 3-0 start. We looking real good. I got Lamar rushing for maybe 100 yards this game as well, man. I think he's gonna start out his progressions. He's gonna start to try to get Zay Flowers involved early and Mark Andrews involved early.
Nice.
But I think this is one of those games where he's feeling like I gotta feel myself this game, and I think we're gonna see at least 100 yards rushing from Lamar. So I got Baltimore, Raven Nation, all the way 3-0. Let's go, baby.
Facts. Carolina, Seattle. This is going to be an interesting game because it can go either way, but it's 2 facts that I look at. 1, Carolina's on a short week because they played on Monday night. Number 2, they got a rookie quarterback. And 3, it's hard to win in Seattle, bro. So I got a close game, field goal game, Seattle winning over the Carolina Panthers.
Definitely. I like Carolina, man. Geno to Metcalf to Lockett is beautiful. But I think if the Panthers can put a little bit of pressure on Geno, I think Geno gets too spooked in the pocket, man.
Facts.
You hear him week 1, oh my God, when you see Aaron Donald, you see Aaron Donald coming through. He said, oh my God. Like I think if you can get to Geno early and put a little pressure on him, I think you can spook him and I think you can get him throwing some picks and throwing the ball away and just not being as poised in the pocket as he normally would be.
Facts.
I think Carolina is gonna win this one. I'm going Carolina, man. Panthers.
Chicago, Kansas City. We don't even gotta talk that game, bro. It's in Kansas City. Kansas City lost their first game. Let's go, Chiefs.
I think this is gonna be another one of those mollywop games, man.
Facts.
I think they're gonna run all over Chicago, man, like stink on doodoo, man.
Facts.
For real, I think it's not even gonna be a game. I'm going Kansas City Chiefs.
We got Dallas, Arizona. That's obvious. That's another blowout. Cardinals got Joshua Dobbs at quarterback. Dobbs gonna get sacked 17 times. Let's go Cowboys.
Yeah, what about those Cowboys, man? Another mollywop, man. Dallas, I think they're gonna keep up their streak. I think through 3 games they're gonna have 100 points.
Facts.
With 10 points allowed, man. It's gonna be one of those, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I got Cowboys winning by mollywop.
You got Pittsburgh at Las Vegas. Most people would say after what they saw Pittsburgh do on Monday night, they look good, but I'm going with Vegas, man. Pickens is a bum, bro. I mean, Pickens is a bum. He's a bum. Billy don't want to hear it, but he's a bum. Now, the receiver's a baller, but the quarterback is a bum. Don't be surprised he throw a pick to lose the game. I got Vegas. They in Las Vegas. Them niggas going to be gambling, going to be hanging out with hoes. They going to lose their mind, not even be able to play. They too young to win that game in Vegas. I got Vegas to win the game.
I'm going with you, man. I got Vegas as well. You know, Pittsburgh is in our division, and they won that game against the Browns. But I definitely didn't like what I saw because it was a sloppy game.
Facts.
The Browns played sloppy. Pittsburgh played sloppy. I really don't like what I see. Pickett ain't it. You know what I mean? I think if this was still a Big Ben era, I'd be going Pittsburgh all the way. The Big Ben era is over, man. I like Las Vegas in this, man, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game because Las Vegas ain't it either. But I think they got it together a little bit more than Pittsburgh going into Week 3 than Pittsburgh do. So I'm going Vegas.
Facts. All right, Monday Night Football. We got Philly versus Tampa. You already know. I don't even know why we even talking this game. You know, whether if Philly was the underdog, I'm picking Philly. So, you know, I mean, you look at the quarterbacks, you got Baker versus Jalen Hurts. So I think Baker, even though he ain't got that many turnovers, I think he's going to get back to being the old Baker. So I got Philly winning that game. Philly winning that game. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I could see it probably winning like 21-17 or 21-14 Philadelphia Eagles.
I had Baker in my top 5 as QBs, man. But I'm going Philly, and I think they're going to mollywop the Bucks. I agree. I think Baker Mayfield. This game is going to be the old Baker Mayfield, man. I think he's going to get flustered. I think he's going to throw a couple picks. I think he's going to get sacked a bunch of times. And I don't think he's going to be able to take care of the ball the way that he's been taking care of the ball the past 2 weeks, man. And I think this is we knew it was coming Baker Mayfield game. I think this is that. And Philly is good enough to expose him. It's going to be how they say it's either going to be a shine or it's going to be cloudy. Like either Baker Mayfield going to step up and let people know this is the new Baker Mayfield. Or he gonna fall back to this is the Baker Mayfield that we know.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Final game of the week, we got the Rams versus Cincinnati. Now the Bengals may not have a quarterback. That's number one. Then number 2, the Bengals gave up 27 points to the Browns. Then they gave up 27 points to the Ravens. What you think the second-ranked offense in the league is gonna do? We talking about, and that's the only reason why I keep giving Stafford his flowers is because they winning with there ain't no Cam Akers, there ain't no Cooper Kupp, and that offense still moving. McVay got them boys moving like they back in the Super Bowl run, and the defense still looks good. Cincinnati gonna get blown out on Monday night at home versus the Los Angeles Rams. I got Rams winning the game.
I agree with you, man. I got the LA Rams winning. That boy Nicole is playing out of his mind. He's a big, solid receiver. On week 2, he had, I want to say, close to 150 yards.
Facts.
I think this week he's going to surpass 150 yards because week 2 he had 15 receptions. Facts. So he's Stafford's number 1 guy. You know what I mean? Without Cooper Kupp, Stafford find a way to get him another number 1 guy, a big receiver that can catch the ball and get yards after the carry. I think he's going to run all over Cincinnati Bengals, man, and I don't even think it's going to be close, man. I think the Rams is going to have 35, almost 40 points on the Cincinnati Bengals because I don't see any answer in sight.
That's a fact.
I'm going Rams.
Yep. That's it, man. Another episode of Top 5. Y'all check us out. Let you know about our picks. Let you know about our top 5s of the week. Let us know what you think. Comment, subscribe below. Get a focus social media, Shooter.
Definitely. Follow us on Instagram at Tree Culture, at Tree Culture _studios, and at Tree Culture Radio. Like my man Ace said, man, hit the comment button below. Like us. Subscribe us. We want to hear what y'all think, man. We want to hear some comments about y'all top 5s. Send us in something, man. Maybe one week, we'll read off some of your top 5s from some of the fans and some of the viewers. But keep staying in tune with the culture, man.
You already know. Check us out. We out.
I want to know who you got in your top 5. Because I got my top 5 ready. And I know Ace got his top 5 ready. So who in your top 5?
Oh my gosh, you got money back I see.
Because it's the top 5 every week.